Oh, he just went off the board. Dang it. Let's see. One of his comrades just went off the board too. So let's see if the third one of them is here. Nope, he's gone.
Talking about from Colorado?
Yep, man, and it's crazy
Which one,
because
Shepard? Was it Shepard or Jimmy?
Jimmy Horn, man. We're gonna be like, "Are you serious? This high? Why do I have this?" Just like when I see Jimmy Horn Jr., fast, shifty slot receiver that could break a game open that we've been missing. How you feel about this guy, man?
Who? Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, for me, this is one of those ones that's just like, yo, I know it's a reach here. PFF's gonna give me an absolute F on this grade. I don't care. I'm taking Jimmy Horn Jr. right here. So cry about it, argue, whatever. That's where I'm going. So this was one of those picks that you remember where you were when they made it, right? Just like the Teteroy McMillan pick at the beginning of the draft, I was watching in real time at that point and was shocked, still shocked, about that situation. But the Horn pick was even more of a shock for me. The reason is because, as you saw at the beginning of this video, the callbacks, there wasn't a single mock draft that I did where I didn't put him in it somewhere. And sometimes it wasn't positive, or I didn't get a positive review from PFF most of the time. And sometimes even with you guys, I didn't get a lot of positive review for it, right? Some of you would understand. Other people would be like, nah, that's a terrible move, right? But I'm glad we did it. And the reason I'm glad we did it is because Jimmy Horn will add an element to this offense. And yes, let me just say this ahead of time. Yes, I think Jimmy Horn will be a part of this offense. I do believe that they brought him in as a return specialist. I think he'll have to work his way into the receiving rotation. I do think he'll make this roster. I do because he's just one thing that Dan and Dave Canales said was talking about just how much of a great guy he was when they brought him in for a visit, and they just kind of fell in love with him because of his story, but more importantly, his resilience.
He's got an explosive element to him. He can stretch the field. He's got run after catch ability, and so I think just that whole thing. And then we brought him in, and visited with him and talked to the guy. And I think, we can all say collectively, we fell in love with the guy, and just the passion for the game. You can just feel his energy and excitement and gratitude for the opportunities that he's gotten. And so, whenever you get a guy like that that's got a lot of depth of character, it's really exciting to pair that up with with the playing ability.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's John Farmer. And what's the one thing that causes more frustrations for sports fans while watching your favorite game? Penalties. These flags have the ability to alter the outcome of games, keeping you out of the playoffs, or possibly worse, winning a Super Bowl, which leaves us feeling helpless and voiceless. Well, not any longer. Introducing Penalty Verdict, the ultimate penalty voting experience. With Penalty Verdict, you can vote on penalty calls in real time on both NFL and college football games. Engage with a community of football fans who desire fair play and accountability, and unlock the next dimension of sports by engaging with real-time polling referees, players, and teams. Penalty Verdict is in the developmental stages and would love to hear from you. What features would you like to see on the app for the upcoming football season? Make sure to go to penaltyverdict.com, sign up to join the mailing list, and give your information and your feedback for the upcoming football season. Look, this is going to be an absolutely revolutionary app for us to be able to vote in real time. I love this. Penaltyverdict.com, join the waiting list, wait for the revolution to begin. Because this story was, pretty unique. Your very unique situation. And Deion Sanders did bring him in under the, guise of like, hey, not only do I want to help you develop as a person and as a player, but I also want to get you to the next level, right? And you could see there was a lot of pride when Jimmy Horn got picked from those guys at Colorado, Prime being the main one, about, look, see, we came through on our promise, which will do wonders for him recruiting, by the way, moving forward. But more about the player. Again, I think Jimmy Horn adds an element to this offense that we have not seen in quite some time. We don't have a lot of, Darius Slay made a comment once, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, about how Philadelphia was just kind of sitting on the routes. Like every time the ball was snapped, they were just sitting on the routes because nobody on the offense scared them, right? I think that changes with not just who we drafted at number 8 overall in Teteroa McMillan, but also with a guy like Jimmy Horn. And in addition to that, bringing in other guys, which we'll talk about in just a second. But when I saw the speed, the 4.35 to 4.38 40 that he ran at the scouting combine, at the pro day, and then the field speed, the 11 yards, after the catch, per yard after the catch, right? That's stuff that you want to see. Like, we don't have a ton of yak guys. And he will add an opportunity for us to be able to improve in that area and open up more opportunities for guys like Excel and Coker. This, to me, is as fascinating of a pick and a decision that the Carolina Panthers have made since I've been a fan of this team. But that brings me to another point. This is different. We signed Hunter Renfrow yesterday. And my tweet in response to that, like, oh yeah, this is different. The Carolina Panthers are showing you that they are fully vested in taking what has been a good offense, making it a great offense, but furthermore, seeing what you saw at the end of the season with your young quarterback and saying, you know what, let's maximize this even more. How long have we complained, looking back nostalgically, if that's a word, about Cam Newton and how we felt like the weapons that he had weren't necessarily sufficient to the talent level that he started to have late in his career. Now, Cam was always talented, but I do find it ironic that the year that he threw the most yards and broke the rookie passing record at the time before it was broken by Luck, Jeremy Shockey, Greg Olsen, Steve Smith, just to name a few. And those kind of offensive weapons weren't always reciprocated as time went on. It was just kind of like, hey, Cam's is Superman. He don't need the best of the best. This same sentiment was echoed by David Tepper about Bryce Young once upon a time, about how he can win with routes, right? Doesn't necessarily have to have the best receivers. But then you go looking around the league and you say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Some of the best that this league has to offer go out and swing for the fences for really good receivers. And I'm glad, despite the fact that we had the worst defense in the league last year, that they didn't just sit and be content with the young guys thinking, hey, maybe they'll develop. There's no maybe in this, no guesswork. Hunter Renfrow says that was a move that says no guesswork. Musa Muhammad II, no guesswork, right? The Kobe kid from, I think, UCF, I'll have to do some more research on him, but another receiver, right? Tight end Mitchell Evans, no guesswork. Shout out to Jared Feinberg. He was one that mocked him on the draft we did together. So no guesswork. We're going to bring in players that can compete because they see, this offense can become special rather quickly. And this Jimmy Horn pick only makes that potential and that thought that much more appealing. So I'm excited. I'm as excited as I've ever been as a fan. You guys know me. I'm probably sometimes like disgustingly optimistic when it comes to this team, right? I've had some really bold takes about, records and who would do well here and there, and some of those takes have flamed out, right? I've also had some takes that have come true. But I don't think at any point, despite the optimism that I've had throughout the past, there's never been a point where I've been more optimistic than I am right now. Because I don't just think what Carolina is doing is shaping up to have what could be a 10, 11, 12 win season next year. Yeah, I know I'm thinking, pretty far down the road, right? But I think what they're trying to do is equip a team that can be in the likes of the San Franciscos, the Philadelphias, dare I even say the Kansas Cities of this league, and have consistent, sustained success. Kudos to Dan Morgan. Kudos to Dave Canales. Kudos to David Tepper for your contributions throughout this draft weekend. Obviously, there's going to be way more videos, way more collaborations that I do with some really smart minds on the things that we've done. But this pick, like I said, guys, this one made me more excited than I've been about a pick in a long time. Like this excited. I don't know that I've ever been this excited about a pick side of Bryce Young, right? just because, man, it's not to say that anything that I see, because I'm no expert, right? But it's hard to unsee some things. And I think that once you meet someone that kind of fits the criteria that you're looking for as a person, and then you see what they offer potentially on the field, it's hard to pass on. And it makes me very happy knowing that not just him, but guys like Nick Skirton, guys like Princely, guys like Teteroa McMillan, that these are the kind of guys that are going to help build this team into a powerhouse in the NFC South. We should all be happy, and we should be looking forward to what's next for the Carolina Panthers. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you never miss another video. Make sure to click on any one of these videos that YouTube recommends. My last mock draft, if you want to check that one out, or reaction to when we drafted Teteroa McMillan, you can click this video right here. Check that out. But until next time, y'all, I'm John from the One Carolina Show. Keep pounding.